Oh, oh, Megan, can you go ahead and mute your microphone for me? And then if you have a question, just unmute and jump in. And then at the end, we're also going to have a question and answer session with Jackie, so you can stay on after and ask questions as well. So hang on. This is Tari. She can't get on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
Well, she's on. She made it.
Oh, good. Awesome. Hi, Tari.
Hi, girls.
All
You
right.
can, you can excuse my text message, Caitlin.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. So we're live. So let's go ahead and get started. And Tari, I'm going to have you go ahead and mute yourself. And then if you have a question, of course, jump in. And here we go. Okay. So I am really excited. You know, Jackie is my sponsor. She's the one who brought me into this business, and she's the reason why all of us are here. So tonight we're just going to get her story, her entire journey with It Works, and we're going to get the real deal from start till now, how she's built her business, what her ups and downs have been. We're going to go through a lot of stuff. It's going to be real. It's going to be raw. You know, we like to be as transparent with you guys on things as possible. So I did write down, I have a ton of questions for you, Jackie. So I made a list, and we'll hopefully get through it all without keeping you girls on forever. But you know, I just feel like Jackie has so much to share with everyone, and I want to incorporate all of the questions that I got from people as well of what they would like to know. So to go ahead and jump right in, Jackie, why don't you go ahead and tell us how you got started with It Works and just kind of give us your, you know, background story with that.
Hey, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. So my story is, you know, I don't have one of those like, oh, I went to Presidential Diamond in 16 months story, okay? So, like my story, let me just back it up a little bit. So I'm from North Dakota originally, and I met this crazy gal, y'all know, Sarah O'Connell. She was Sarah McKinnon. She still is McKinnon in my phone. I just can't get past that. But she and I went to college together. And we went to nursing school together, and we moved to Arizona together, and we did everything together for many, many years. And we were nurses together, and we started in labor and delivery. We moved from North Dakota, went to University of North Dakota, and we moved to Phoenix and lived together. we did cut the cord eventually, you guys, but yeah. So anyway, she was my best friend, and she started. Danielle also was Sarah's high school best friend. That's kind of how this story works. So Sarah and they were also best friends in college. So that's how I got the pleasure of meeting Danielle, was through Sarah and through like the nursing program. And so Danielle started with, she was working as a labor and delivery nurse back in North Dakota, and Sarah and I were down in Arizona, and Danielle started with this company called It Works. And like Danielle said the other night, her sponsor is Kelly Kaufman. So that's kind of how that, I always found it interesting kind of how the lineage kind of went, like, I don't know, how everyone's kind of connected in a way. So anyway, so Danielle went to her, you know, longtime best friend, Sarah, and said, hey, you know, I'm doing this business. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I think it's something good. And so Sarah's like, okay, yeah, I mean, if you're doing it and it sounds good. And at the time, she was working nights, and she had switched from days to nights, and she was looking for something different, and she started, and she took off. Her and Danielle were like on fire, and it was kind of, nobody had heard of this crazy rap thing, and everyone was just so excited, and they worked their tails off, you guys. And so I was watching her for about 6 months, and you know, she had said, you got to do this, you got to do this. And considering our past and we had done everything together, I was like, I don't know, you know, like I don't know. I was like, I don't know if it's for me. And I didn't even try a wrap, you guys. I was a jerk. I'm a jerk of a friend. I did not even try a wrap. I was not a customer. And so like I said, I'm going to get real with you guys. Like, I was going through a really really, oh, weird. See, random connection, Tari. Sorry, she just posted. Everyone's connected. 6 degrees of separation. It's so crazy. So I was going through a super hard time in my life. May of 2012, like I said, Sarah had approached me about the business, and I was going, well, May of 2012, my husband and I were getting into, well, that was the start of our divorce. And I was not in a good place at all. Like, negativity was just like everywhere. Like, I was not happy with myself. I was like not confident. I just was not myself. And I was stressed out. I didn't know how I was going to pay for my house and my divorce. That, I had no idea, and it wasn't even an option to me. But considering what had gone down, and like I said, I'll let you guys in. I mean, it was like affair after affair, and I found out about all this stuff all at one time. And let me tell you what that does to your psyche. Okay, like no confidence at all. If there was confidence, you don't have any left. Like it's crazy. So to go into a business where I needed to approach people and be confident, I was like, I can't do that right now. Like, I don't even know how to be confident in life in general right now, let alone build a business. So, Sarah was like, I think it'd be very positive for you, something to focus on. And I'm like, okay. So June of 2012, I filed for divorce, and Sarah is like, just let's do it. And I'm like, okay. So I signed up and did not do a thing with it. Like, I was working 5 shifts a week. I was trying to pay for my divorce that he would not pay for. So I was like, all on me. And so I was working and just so stressed out. I didn't want to ask my parents for help. I was embarrassed. I was just like, what am I going to do? I was not in a good place mentally. So I'm watching Sarah work her business. I'm not doing anything. I was like basically a loyal customer pretty much that entire time. And, as Sarah being my best friend, she's like, I know Jackie, like, I know when she's ready, she'll do it. And she knew I just kind of had to work through all of this. And I just kept, pushing and picking up extra shifts, and I kept watching her be successful, but really I just did not have the confidence I felt in myself at that time to go and do this. And so again, I was a loyal customer basically as a distributor, but using the products. And finally in May of like 2013, I was getting back to myself. And Sarah, I think she was double diamond at the time, but she sat me down and she's like, she had like a really like heart to heart, and she's like, Jackie, you're crazy if you don't run with this business. Like, I'm making this amount of money. This is the potential. She's like, I want you by my side to do this. And I looked at her and I'm like, yeah, like, why am I working extra 12-hour shifts when this is right at my fingertips? But I just couldn't see it. You know what I mean? I was just not in a place to see it. And that was just kind of when everything clicked. And so May of 2013 is my technical date that I say that I started to really work my business. So I went Ruby that next month, and then I was still trying to figure it out, just really didn't have a clue what I was doing, but just was going after it. And then I met Caitlin in September, and I blitzed her super awkwardly. And then I went Diamond in October, and then went to conference. Yeah, I went Diamond in October. I actually lost my Diamond in November. I'll tell you about that. Went to conference in January, and then conference just rocked my world, seriously, like crazy. And I went double diamond in February, triple diamond in April, and then I stayed triple diamond for 16 months. So, and again, like, sorry, my dogs are freaking out. I'll talk to you guys a little bit about that too a little bit later. But that's kind of my backstory, and that's what got me to this point. So,
I'm going to sorry to cut in real quick. Brittany, can I have you mute your microphone?
Sorry.
That's okay. All right. So, Jackie, I love how your story got started, just because in this business it is so often that we do hear those stories of people who started and, like you said, like 12 months later, they're presidential diamond, and, we're all like, whoa. And so we always think that if you're gonna make it in the business, then like you just have it from the beginning and that's it. And I think for new people, it's something to look at, because it doesn't mean that if your business takes off, it doesn't mean that it's not going to. So one of the other questions that I wanted to ask you, kind of tailing off of that, is What were your aha moments in this business? I know that, when Sarah basically got real with you and showed you, not only how much you were working, picking up extra shifts, because I remember you saying, you were working constantly at, 12-hour shifts, which is no easy task. But what were your other aha moments that you had in this business of where you can look back and things that really clicked for you and what made them click?
So there were a couple things when I was thinking back. I was like, I've thought about this a lot, and I'm like, what was really that moment for me that made it, all of a sudden everything made sense? And it's really hard to like pinpoint a moment, but there were a couple big things, and I think one of the biggest things obviously was Sarah sitting me down being like, don't be an idiot, like you need to do this. And the second thing was signing you, Caitlin. I know, and this is no BS, you guys, like you all will have that person in your business that you just, I don't know. It's weird. Like Caitlin was a true blitz for me. I did not know her, I didn't know her story. I didn't know anything about her, and I just awkwardly gave her a blitz card, and she went with this, and she is that person in my business that was like, yeah, I was a Ruby, but I don't know what the heck I was doing half the time, So we really learned together, and I think like everyone's got a person in this business that pushes them to be better and find that best part of yourself, and like Caitlin was definitely that person for me. Like, we've had hour-long sessions, talk sessions, not just about business, but just about finding ourselves. And you will all find that person in this business that is your go-to, your confidant, and the person you like, that is your rock, that you want to take to the top, and you will with you. And she was definitely that person. And those people make you step up your game. I was like, oh my God, she's amazing. Like she went executive in like 2 weeks or less. I was like, my God, it took me like forever to go executive. And so, I mean, it's those people that lift you up and inspire you and make you want to be better. And so I think that was definitely huge to finally have somebody that was like, yeah, I want this business. And I'm like, you do? Like, I don't have anybody that wants it. But I wanted the business, but I didn't have anybody that wanted the business like I did, So to have that person was huge. And again, like, if you don't have that person now, you will. You will. Everyone does, and it's just a matter of time. And so, and then I think the other huge moment for me, there were 2 of them. So I went diamond in October, and I was like, I'm diamond, sweet, I'm diamond. I was like, awesome. And then I'm like, I'm not going to work forever, a month, whatever. And I lost my diamond. So, yeah, that sucks, like when you lose your diamond. And then I'm like sitting like this, and Sarah's like, well, you didn't work. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I didn't. So, yeah, don't take your foot off the gas when you get those promotions. Like, work harder the next month, if anything, because you don't want to lose those promotions. And so, yeah, I was just, that was bad. But anyway, so then I got my diamond back in December, and by the skin of my teeth, let me tell you, and then went to conference. And conference was my huge aha moment. Like Sarah had been telling Caitlin and myself, like, you got to get to conference. And we're like, yeah, we'll get to conference, jeez. And then we went to conference, and we were like, holy crap, like there was no words to describe it. And I know it sounds cliche, and I know it sounds silly, and I was like, okay, Sarah, you drank the Kool-Aid like the year before when she was all like telling me about this. And it's life-changing. It's completely life-changing. And so that was my aha moment, was conference. I literally went as a diamond. My volume, I think, was like 20,000 or something when I went to conference. I went double diamond in February, and I went triple diamond in April. And it was over 100,000 in April.
Hang on just a second, Jackie. Sorry, Savannah, can you please mute your microphone?
She's being productive. I can hear it.
I know. I can too.
She's a multitasker.
There.
Savannah!
I thought I was really smart and had it set up so it would mute everyone automatically, but it didn't work out so well.
Oh well. Once she gets back on.
Oh, here we go. I figured it out.
Oh, cool. You're so smart.
Okay. All right,
so
sorry. Go ahead.
No. So that was, I think, my huge aha moment was conference. And like I said, my volume tripled in those months. And that is just all, like you can inspire, you can try to, inspire people all day long, but motivation has to come from within. And really, I found that at conference. I was like, yeah, I totally see these people who are just like me, who are sitting in VIP Elite. I'm like, why can't I be in VIP Elite? I'm like, I'm going to be, and so whether it took me 2 years or 5 years, I was like, I'm going to get there. So that was my biggest aha moment, I think. Those were the three.
I love it. Yeah, conference was definitely. I don't think there will ever be a conference like the first conference that Jackie and I ever went to, not knowing what to expect and then seeing what we got out of it. And
show your shirt. Show your shirt. Sorry, we're wearing our shirt. This is our shirts from our first conference. Debt free is the new sexy. So we're throwing it back. But anyway, sorry.
Absolutely. So, okay, there's a few things kind of going off of what you said that I want to talk to you about. You talked about losing your diamond and what happened after conference. I feel like, you and I both have had a lot of trials in our business and a lot of ups and downs, and I know that, we used to always see the highlight reels of everyone, and so, when you and I lost rank, we both were like, gosh, we're the biggest losers, and like, when it's like, and I know that, when both of us had, a plateau, we were like, why, what is going on with us? And, we were only seeing the highlight reels from people of like how wonderful everything was. And so I want to get nitty gritty with people just because, we always just try to stay positive because this business is so fun and it is so life-changing. But I want to give a little taste of the reality of things just because I see too often, like I said, that people compare themselves to someone else. And if you're just viewing the highlight reels of someone and you're not seeing the struggles, you're not seeing, maybe when they've lost a promotion, or you're not seeing, when they're having hard times, then you'll compare your business and think, well, this is it. And, Jackie and I have both had, diamond legs quit and, just people who are high ranked who, maybe like Jackie, the next month they didn't keep their diamond, they didn't maintain. And so then they're just like, well, that's it. So talk to me or talk to us a little bit about what have been your ups and downs in this business, and what you've done to get through them, what you've learned from them, that kind of thing.
Let me unmute. So I've had a lot of them. I've had a lot of ups and downs. So I think when I first started really working my business, one of the biggest things that scared me, and that was definitely a down for me, was people's opinions. Like, I was very, very concerned about what people were going to think about me, or what my friends thought, and even what my family thought. And so, and again, I was only doing this on the side, so people were like, oh yeah, it's a fine side job, whatever. So I was scared to post on Facebook. I remember, like, I would only post so certain people could see certain things. Let me tell you, that is not the way to go, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But my very best friends have never been my customers. They were not supportive, and now, because I've stuck to my guns, they respect me for sticking to it. However, we just have agreed to just not talk about it, and that's very hard for me still, because the thing about it that is hard is that I would literally support, if my friend was like, I'm going to stand on the side of the road and I'm going to sell this stuff because I believe in it, I'd be like, well, I'm going to sit with you on the side of the road and I am going to buy your whatever. So it's like hard for me, because whatever I was like, I don't understand. But this business is very hard for people to understand because it's not normal. And, it's not the road that people take. And so even to this day, my own sister, my best friend, my sister, doesn't, again, she now respects me. Again, sticking to your guns is a lot, you guys. Consistency and persistence. And if you stick to what you believe in, people will respect you just for the fact that you stuck to it. Not because they even agree with you, but they respect you for believing in something. And so, my own sister doesn't necessarily love this, and that's fine. It's each to their own. But she respects me now because she knows that I believe in it, I'm sticking to it, and that's what I'm going to do. So that has definitely been a down for me, because obviously when you're excited about something and you love something, like you want your friends and family to be by your side. And of course I have the best mom and dad in the world, and they were like, yay, whatever you do, you're going to be great, you know. And so that part I was so lucky about. And like Tim has always been super supportive, so that I'm very lucky, because I know some people have dealt with unsupportive spouses and, you know, parents and things like that. But it's just hard. It's hard when your friends and your, you know, sister or whatnot don't really support you. But again, everyone comes around, and in whatever way they come around and whatever way you decide to deal with it with them, I mean, I'm just direct. Like with my friends, I'm like, so again, I would never say anything about your career, so let's be positive. And that's just kind of what we've taken on as our role together with that. So I think the other down again was losing my diamond. I like I said, I learned just, you know, don't take your foot off the gas when you get these promotions. Momentum is key. Keeping, you know, your foot on the gas and going towards that next promotion is what it's all about. And I just learned really early on after losing that promotion that I was like, I just got to know what my next step is going to be right all the time. Like I knew double diamond was my next step. I had my map printed out, and I was like, I'm doing it. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try. And so, I mean, I had that printed out. I had my triple map printed out. Scared the crap out of me, but I'm like, I'm going to just tuck that puppy right in this folder here, and I'm going to pull that out when I'm brave enough. And sure enough, a month after I went double, I was like, I'm pulling. Actually, when I went, I was going double, and I was like, had my triple map out, because I'm like, this is so happening, you know, like soon. But it was because I just was like, I had a fire, and once that fire is lit, and I know a lot of you guys have that right now, that is just, there's no stopping that. There's no stopping that. So that was a down, which turned into an up, because, you know, it got my thinking, it changed my thinking. So definitely an up was, oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, sorry. I was going to say, tagging off that, I want to say, so, because you went to conference, and right after conference, you came back, and you went double, like, right away, and then right after that, you went triple, and I remember that. There was so much excitement, and I remember Jackie and I sitting in a car of a parking lot. I think we had gone out blitzing together, and I remember her telling me, she was like, it was just like it clicked in her all of a sudden, and she goes, it was like there was 3 weeks left in the month, and maybe even less than 3 weeks, and she was like, I have to build a diamond by the end of this month, and I'll get my triple, and I'll get that bonus. I'm going to do it. And I was like, oh my God, she's really going to do it. I mean, but, you know, when Jackie gets a fire in her, I always say, if she told me she like was going to build a rocket that went to the moon by the end of the month, knowing that she knows zero about aerospace, I would still believe her, because when she has that fire and she's determined, and when anyone, not just her, when anyone, as soon as somebody has that fire in them, there's nothing will stop you. So talk to us a little bit about what the months that you're going for promotion, what do those months look like for you, and how is that different from other months that you're working your business? You know, how, especially with like flexibility, because one of the things I want to point out is, you know, I'm one of those chaotic people where, you know, you guys will see, it'll be like 9 o'clock, and if my husband couldn't watch the kids are like jumping off the bed in my office, you know, keeping themselves entertained, like way past their bedtime. And I'm just like, whatever, like I have to be flexible, because when I pay for whatever college they want to go to, they won't care. But not everyone is like that. And Jackie is more type A. She's very regimented. She likes things planned out. She likes to stick to a schedule. And so talk about like how you've had to, you know, change things and make sacrifices, and basically what promotion months look like for you.
So, you know, it's hard. It's like one of those things where you know, when I think about it, I'm like, you know, we should always be pushing for those next promotions. But if we're being real and honest, you guys, we know when we're going what month's a promotion month and what's not. Let's just be honest, like we do. So a promotion month, like when I went triple, I mean that, well actually, okay, so I actually went triple in April. So March I was pushing for triple. I needed to build a diamond in like 2.5 weeks or something like that, 3 weeks. And so my cousin Katie, this is kind of where she came into the picture, and she got her fire lit. I was like, hi, yeah, so I know that I told you to be in this business, but yeah, do you want to build a diamond in 2.5 weeks? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, Okay. So she totally got on board, and her and I think we signed, I don't even remember. Was it 14 or 17 distributors in like 2.5 weeks? I can't, it was something ridiculous.
It was
I like
crazy.
blinked, I like blinked it out. I don't even know. It's like on Old School when he's doing that speech. He's like, what did I just say? I don't even know. Like it was crazy. Like it was crazy. But I knew it was temporary. Like literally, Danielle still laughs about this because I didn't have like the last 4 days of the month. I was like, okay, just like literally every waking moment I had, I was working, and I didn't have time to go to the store. I didn't have time to shower. My dogs ran out of dog food, and so they ate. I had tuna fish and black beans, no joke, and they ate that for like 3 days straight. And I googled it; it's safe, and they actually loved it. But no, I'm like seriously, she dies at that. But I mean, I was like, no, I have got to do this every second of every single day if this is going to happen. And you guys, I did not get that promotion in March, and Katie did not get her diamond in March. But we were completely boxed out. We missed it by like minimal BB. And it was hard. But, like I could have been like, oh, I'm quitting. I missed it. I didn't get the bonus, blah, blah, blah. But no, I was like, we're set up. We're set up. This is so happening in April. Literally, it was so happening. So it happened in April, and it was great. And Mark extended the bonuses, and all was well with the world. But I will tell you, for 2 months, you guys, 2 months, I was still working as a nurse at that time. And so any day that I worked as a nurse, I had to leave my house at 6:20. So what I would do, no joke, I looked like I had dark circles under. There was no lip and eye cream that could even help this problem that I had going on here from lack of sleep. But I didn't care. I was running on like pure like excitement and caffeine and greens. We didn't have energy then, and my goodness, I wish we would have. But so anyway, I did we have energy then? Sorry, I'm blanking. I don't think we did.
No.
It came out last. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm losing my marbles. Just came out. So anyway, I would get up at 3:30 in the morning. I am not kidding you. Like my team was like, "Why did you message me at 3:45 a.m.?" I'm like, "Oh, just up for the day, you know." I'd get up at 3:30 in the morning the days I worked, and I would work until 6. I would I would literally give myself a perfume bath, like gross, like go to work, throw on my scrubs, and work until 8 p.m. And then I'd come home and I would work until midnight. And this is not, I'm not BSing you guys. Like this is what I did because I'm like, honestly, this is what I have to do. And I had a long road to go from double to triple, but I was like, this is going to happen and I'm going to make it happen. And that's how. So all those people that are like, I don't have time, everybody does have time. It's just a matter of what you're willing to sacrifice to make that time. And I knew it was temporary. I knew it was temporary, and I knew that the gain I was going to have from it was going to be so huge that this was all going to be worth it. So I actually got up excited. I was like, I'm excited to do this, and I'm excited, and this is my business and my baby, and I was excited to do these things. It was about my future, and and on my team's future, and it was about not having to go to work for 12-hour shifts anymore. So I could see, once you can see the long term, that's when you will have success, because people don't want to give up things in the short term. People want to have all of these things, but you got to do things people won't do to live like people can't later. And like, it's just kind of, again, it's all about prioritizing. So I think promotion months are different. They are different, and you got to know, like, you don't, on a promotion month, you're not like, oh, I'm just going to do the steps to success. No, you're like, I'm going to do the steps to success 9 times if I can. That would be great, like literally. And that's just the mentality you have to have. And so you also have to know that you are going to probably miss out on some family time and some things that you don't want to miss out on. But again, it's temporary. It's temporary. Like last month when I went presidential, Tim and I we don't have a ton of time together. Like he's working nights right now, and he'll get home tomorrow, and I'll be up, and he'll sleep, and he'll leave again. And so we don't have a lot of time. And so last month, like there was a weekend, he was so excited. They had a cabin up north, and he's like, can you go? It was him and a couple of his friends and their significant others. And I'm like, nope, can't go. Like, you're one kind of weekend off, can't go. So, I mean, I chose to stay home and work my business, and my promotion would not have happened if I would have gone to the cabin. Like, it would not have happened. So I'm not saying don't be with your family. I'm just saying that you have to pick and choose for what you want later, I guess is the only way I can put it. And as far as like my flexibility in type A, again, you make time. Like I do like a schedule, and I love going to bed early and waking up early. Like I'm like a coffee in the morning gal, and like I'm now on Eastern time. My whole team is on Pacific time, majority of them. And so, not all, but a large majority. And so when people are like, I can't do a hangout till 9 p.m., that's midnight for me. But I'm going to do it because it's not about me. You know what I mean? Like the second that you stop making it about you, make it about your team. So things are going to interrupt your schedule, and they aren't going to be exactly how you want them to be. And if you stick to your rigid schedule, you will never, ever get to where you want to be. You just won't. Because you got to be flexible. Being a leader means being flexible and adapting. And I think that that's one of the biggest things I learned is that I'm going to have to, it's not about me, and I'm going to have to sacrifice some things. So.
I love that. I love that. And another thing I was going to say that I meant to say earlier and I realized I didn't is, and Jackie, I'm so flattered by your compliment earlier on this, but when Jackie said that she didn't really have anyone that wanted this business, so I was actually the last person that Jackie signed to go diamond. So I was far down in her diamond map, and I was the last person she signed. And so if you've looked at a diamond map and you think about that, that means she had all these other distributors who none of them share the same passion about the business that she did. But then she found me, who was very passionate about the business, and then she's found more and more people. So if you're ever looking at your business and you're frustrated because you're like, gosh, like, why has nobody caught on to this like I have? Why does nobody want it like I do? You will find those people. It will happen. And think of if Jackie would have said, forget about it because, out of this whole team, nobody's working like I am. Nobody wants it like I do. Think of if she would have stopped there, well, none of us would actually be here right now. So I wanted to make that point. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, Jackie, is that you moved to Michigan last fall. So gosh, it's been like a year now, right?
Yeah, it's been a year. I can't believe it. It's crazy.
So, when you had moved to Michigan, it was after you were triple, so it was wonderful you were able to not only move with Tim, but that you were able to leave nursing and, support you guys on your It Works income. So I want to kind of talk to you about how you built your business in Michigan, what it was like going from here to Michigan, because I know that when you and I were talking the other day, Jackie always talks about how she was so awkward when she blitzes, but she's totally not. Jackie's very personal and she's really great one-on-one with people. And when she was in Arizona, she had such a broad circle of not just friends, but acquaintances and seeing people out and doing things that she would naturally, hang on, I gotta let my dog out. Hang on a second. She would naturally just start talking to people about what she was doing, and she had so much excitement and so much passion that she would sign people like crazy. And then when she moved to Michigan, she didn't know anyone. So I want you to just kind of talk about how that move, like how your business has changed and what you've learned from that, and kind of just along those lines.
So I was super, super scared to move to Michigan. There were a couple reasons. One, the snow, let's be honest. Like, I was really scared of the snow. Even though I'm a North Dakota girl, almost a decade in Arizona, did not think I'd ever be moving back to the snow. Besides that, I hate being cold. But no, I was super scared because, you guys, Michigan is the birthplace of It Works. The birthplace. Our CEO lives in Grand Rapids, I believe, which is, 2.5 hours from Ann Arbor? I'm not sure the exact mileage. So let's just throw this out there. So there are four Black Diamonds total. 4, right? Cammie Dempsey, Denise Walsh, Stephanie and Joel Dunn, and who am I blanking? And Madra John. Okay, 3 of those people, you guys, live 2 hours from me. I'm not kidding you. 3 Black Diamonds. So talk about this. I'm thinking like, oh, okay, that's awesome. I'm moving to the most saturated state in the entire world. I'm gonna fail. Like I was like instantly like, wow, what am I gonna do? I mean, so when people are like, this business is saturated, I'm like, no, no, it's not, because I moved to Michigan, the birthplace, and all of these, like, and not just black diamonds, you guys, ambassador diamonds coming out of the woodwork, the Sassix, like, you name it. Like, I could literally, Lansing, Genesis and Andy Boyd, like, ambassador diamonds everywhere. Like, I could literally, I can't even go there because there's so many, which is amazing. But that being said, there was one triple diamond in Ann Arbor, Noelle Cruz, and I like latched onto her early. I was like, "Hi, I'm moving to Ann Arbor." Hi, I was like, "I need friends. How are you?" Like literally, and so there was one triple diamond here, and so I moved here, and I'm not gonna lie, I was so scared, and I did build my business in Arizona very, I thought I was like very not belly to belly. I was like, oh, I'm technological. I was more online. I'm like, no, I was way more in person, blitzing and belly to belly business than I thought in old school, like phone and whatever. And then I moved here, and I was just kind of at a loss. Like for one, was completely out of my element. I had just moved. I had no friends. I thought, it'll be easy to make friends. Well, it is not easy to make friends when you're 31 and 32. Like I was like, this is not like when I was 23 and moved to Scottsdale and everyone's in the same place in their life and whatever. So that was hard. I left all of my friends. I left all of my, my sister had just moved to Phoenix. Finally, I recruited one of my sisters, and then I leave 3 months later. And so it was so hard for me to move, and Tim was gone all the time, and I was not in a great place. I had about a 6 month pity party, I would say, probably, approximately, for myself, where I was just not myself. I was super depressed, and I tried to go about my business and try to revamp it. I tried to figure out how I'm supposed to do this, how I'm supposed to work my business when most of my team's West Coast, and in Arizona, and I thought I was doing everything. I was like, well, I'm emailing, I'm trying to follow up with people, but I learned a huge lesson, and Caitlin is definitely part of this lesson. Like, when your energy is not right, like you can be doing all of these same things that you think you're doing, and you can be doing all of them day in and day out, but when your energy is not right, it doesn't matriculate into anything. Like it didn't. Like I kept finding the wrong distributors. I kept bringing in the wrong, my thoughts were negative, so my energy was bringing back negativity, and I didn't like who I was at that time, and I didn't know how to get out of it, and I didn't know what to do. And so I was lucky. I was still maintaining triple diamond. I was like, okay, you can't complain about that, but my check wasn't going up, and I think it was December, my check dropped $2,000, and I'm like, okay, we got to get it together. And because I'm not gonna, Tim's salary is okay, but for working 80 hours a week, it's not great. And when you have that much loan debt, it's pretty much goes to pay that. And he's amazing. He helps with what he can. But so this is we were kind of counting on this. So I was like, I got to kick it into gear and figure this out. And so conference was again like my reset button, where I was like, okay, Jackie, like you got to figure this out. Like you are not in Arizona anymore. You need to stop holding on to that. You need to realize that you're a Michigan resident, which I was like, I couldn't even like say that. I was like, yeah, I'm from Phoenix, but I'm in Michigan right now. But no, I'm in Michigan. I live in Michigan. So I was like, I need to figure this out. How am I going to do this? And so that was really hard. I mean, it was hard, but literally the second I changed my thoughts and I was like, you know what, I got to embrace this and figure this out. Google Hangout was a huge part of that, just connecting with people and using technology to connect with people and picking up the phone again. Like I was good at picking up the phone in Phoenix and I was feeling good, but when I'm depressed and you just want to lay in bed and like it's 20 below zero here and there's no sun and you're like, in your sweatpants and you just want to lay in bed, I mean, I was not in a great place and not in a great place to be leading people, and that does show no matter how hard you try to hide it. So I finally got my head right, and that definitely embracing technology and just realizing, you know what, pick up the old-fashioned phone, Google Hangout, set those up with your team, and just kind of getting back to the basics I couldn't really do belly to belly. I could still blitz people here, but I'll be honest, like, you know, I wasn't out and about as much as I was in Phoenix. I wasn't, you know, like I don't know many people. And Pure Barre was a huge thing for me. I met a lot of great friends there, but it just was different. So I definitely had to change it. I started getting on Instagram. I started learning and researching how to, you know, build my business. I really dived into my business page on Facebook. And again, I don't really recommend everyone starting a business page now, but I had put so much into it already that it's finally now producing, you know what I mean, after almost 3 years. But so that is kind of the biggest change I had to deal with, is just how do I run my business from afar? How do I take this team that I've built, you know, as a triple diamond, and how do I connect to them? How do I stay connected? And so that is something that was so hard. And plus, how do I get out of my own head thinking that everybody already knows about this? I didn't blitz for 6 months because I'm like, everybody already knows about It Works in Michigan. I was literally so lost, you guys. But everybody doesn't know about It Works in Michigan. Do you know how many people don't know about It Works in the birthplace state of It Works in Michigan? Like, people don't know. So the second I realized that I'm back. I was like, I'm back. I realized, you know, I started blitzing again and talking to people again, and I think that was my biggest realization, I guess, is just that, again, when people say it's saturated, I'm like, oh, no, don't even think it's saturated, because it's saturated. Well, I thought it was saturated, and it's not even saturated here. I mean, you guys, I literally can't even tell you. Denise Welsh, Stephanie Dunn, like, these people are like heavy hitters, like people that I have watched for the last 3 years and like in awe of them. And they're Andy and Genesis Boyd, like, I can't believe they live so close. And I still can't believe I have all these prospects in Ann Arbor. Like, that's crazy to me. So don't ever, I just can't listen when people are like, oh, everyone's heard of it. I'm like, no, they haven't. So you're not talking to enough people, because trust me, everyone has not heard of it. But sorry, okay, I'm rambling.
No, you're not at all. I love all of it. All good stuff. Just because I think it's all things that people can relate to, you know. We're all human, and we all deal with our own struggles. And so you said a lot of stuff that I know a lot of us can relate to. So going off of that, what have been some of your biggest fears in this business? You know, we always talk about how this business pushes you so far out of your comfort zone, and you know, it's basically a self-development plan with compensation. And you know, I know that both of us have found that to be so true. And you know, there really is just no comfortable way of doing this business. You have to face your fears. So talk to us about, what were your biggest fears? How did you get over them? And how do you see, what changes do you see in yourself from when you started this business, of who you were, and how do you see yourself now?
Well, I had a lot of fears, and I think, again, going back to the biggest fear was, you know, I'm a people pleaser, I am, and I worry about what people are going to think about me. And you know, I left a very respectable career, a nurse. Like, how can I leave that career? Whoops, wow, my dog's on the table. How can I leave that career to do this rap thing and this network marketing company, and it's a scam and it's a pyramid scheme, and I've heard it all, and I'm like, whatever. So, I mean, I took a lot of crap about it. You know, I did a lot of it, and a lot of people's opinions, and a lot of people's, and I just, you know, there's really no good answer to give them except I believe in it and support me. You know, like, there's nothing that I'm gonna say, you know, that's gonna give the uneducated education, I guess. Like, people believe what they want to believe. Like, they're not gonna, if they don't know it now. Like, these people were very smart people. Like, I'm talking, like, for one, here, I'll give you an example. So I'm around these physicians all the time, and Tim's friends, they're great, but I'll tell you, like, their opinions, they don't ever tell me. but I felt silently judged at all times. Like, these doctors think all this stuff is ridiculous, or they think, these raps are ridiculous, or they're like, oh, you were just a nurse and now you're going to do this. I know what people think. They don't have to say it to me. So when we're in groups and they're like, what do you do? Like, I just remember the anesthesia Christmas party. Like, people are like, what do you do? And I'm like, and I still, at that time, even last year, was like, well, I'm a nurse, and now I'm like, I sell wraps and I'm a distributor for It Works. Like, now I lead with that. I don't lead with I'm a nurse. Like, no. But it took me a long time to get there because the looks and like the questions and the judgment, but I don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't have $300,000 in debt, and I get to sleep in how long I want, and I work from home, and it is what it is, and some of these people, it's just, I had to get over that. And I think I am so lucky to have Tim, who is so supportive and takes vitamins every day and like supports me every step of the way. So I am really lucky in that respect, but it has been really difficult trying to hold my head up and say, like, I don't even get into it with them because they'll be like, well, how does this wrap work? And they want to know the physiology. And I'm like, you think customers are hard? Try sitting in a group of a bunch of resident physicians that are like, okay, what's this wrap thing that you do, and how does it work at a cellular level? And I'm like, I just want to drink my wine and not talk to you guys right now. Like, it's so hard. So I think having the confidence to deal with that, and I finally was like, after conference, it really was after conference in January of 2014 that I was like, this is amazing. Like, if people can't see it, I don't care, and there's nothing I'm going to say that's going to make them see it. They want to try it, fine. If they don't, fine. They want to judge me, fine. Like, I'm running all the way to the bank laughing, so I don't really care, and I'm healthier because of this company, and I'm happier. So that's really all that matters. So I think the other fear I had was fear of failure. That's one of the big things that really kept me from working my business that entire first year. And I know all of you guys probably have that fear. Like, this is not what you guys do. Like, you're not a salesperson. Like, you didn't wake up one day and be like, I'm going to be in sales. Like, people are teachers, you did hair, or you were graphic design, or you were a nurse, or a nurse practitioner, or something, or you did something else. This was not your primary thing. So I think fear of failure and just not knowing the business is always a concern, and it was always a concern of mine. I mean, I'm, again, very type A, and I wanted to know all the answers, and the fear of not knowing an answer was really crippling for me. And I think when I let that go and I realized, what, people don't care if I don't have all the answers. They care that I take the time to look for the right answer. And so I realized I had all of these resources at my fingertips, and that was okay for me to say I didn't know. That's okay. And so that was one. And also just knowing that the only failure is not trying, and that's really what it came down to. And Sarah and I talked about that. It was like, you're not failing if you give it a shot. If you never try, you're failing. I mean, you've never tried. So I think that was the biggest thing too, is just letting myself be vulnerable and to try something that is so out of my comfort zone and completely different. I know science and nursing, and that's what I know. So this was not in my comfort zone at all. And also at the time, I'm not going to lie, you guys, like, I had zero self-confidence, like, coming out of my divorce. Like, I could barely look people in the eye, let alone, be selling or sharing products with people in a confident nature. So that was a challenge for me to get that confidence back, and I really feel like It Works has helped me get my confidence back and to know that I'm worth something and I'm worth it, and like, I can do this. And meeting Tim also he's an amazing partner in life, and so that was also very helpful too. But so I also think, let's see, a lot of my fears, again, a lot of the fears that you guys have are probably the same fears that I had. There's nothing that really is like going to make you get over them except yourself. Like, you have to have a come to Jesus moment, or whoever you pray to, like a moment where you're like, okay, is this what I want? Am I going to do this? Because honestly, that's the only way you're going to make it happen. Like I said, I would restrict my posts to certain people. I wasn't owning the business. I wasn't living the business. I wasn't proud of the business. I wasn't being proud of what I did, and I wasn't being proud of who I was. And the second I owned who I was, I'm like, this is who I am. Like, this is who I am on social media. This is who I am. This is what I do. And the second I owned that and I stopped restricting, my business took off, and it changed. And it was, you guys, I was a triple diamond before this happened, because again, I was so scared. Sorry, my dogs are apparently wrestling on the ground here. So if you hear any weird noises, it's them. Guys, stop it. So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you guys, you have to be proud. I'm so sorry. Hold on. You guys, get up. You have to, they're like children, I swear. You have to be proud of this company, and you have to wear your shirts with pride. Like, I was like, I just didn't want people to ask me about it, because again, like, the people we hung out with were so snooty, for lack of a better word, sometimes about this stuff. They were great people, but they were snooty. They just thought it was a weird, and most people are. They think it's a weird lifestyle. They don't know they don't know what to say to it. They don't know what to think about it, and they judge it. And you gotta get a thick skin, and you have to be very confident and know where you're going and know what you have your hands on. And the second that you can make that decision in your mind, because it has to be a personal decision, it's not going to be anything I tell you, Caitlin tells you, it's not going to be anything anybody else tells you. It's got to be a moment in your heart that you decide that this is what you're going to do. That is when your business will change. And so when you start opening it up and sharing it with the entire world, they're guard dogs. They're apparently protecting me from the wind. So anyway, yes, we hear you. But that is when your business will take off. But you have to own it, live it, love it, and you have really got to be proud of it. And there's nothing you should be more proud of than building your own business and being being a healthier, more positive version of yourself. So that's all I can say about how you can work past those, because again, it has got to be an internal process that you decide. You decide one day that Danielle would always say, and Sarah, get over yourself, just get over yourself. And I'm like, I am over myself. And I'd like walk away, and I'm like, I'm not over myself. Like, I'm so worried about what everybody thinks that, I mean, I got in my own head, and I let people get in my own head that weren't even in my head. Like, why did, So anyway, I became really good at blocking people. If they're negative, block. I don't need it in my life. And, I use my Facebook for my business. So if you're going to post something negative on my Facebook wall, you're going to be blocked. Doesn't mean I don't like you in life. But you know what? This is my business, and this is how I promote my business. So, I mean, I think this company is one of the most positive things that in the entire world, and it's made me a more positive person. It's changed me to be, like I said, more confident, more secure. It's made me approach things head on. I guess take a more, for lack of a better term, man's approach to things. I skirt around things, and I didn't want to address issues, and I didn't want to offend anybody. And I take a much more, or I'd sit and stew about something. I'd be like, oh God, is she mad at me? All these things that girls think, you worry. And if you just asked, hey, are you mad at me? You know what I mean? And so they'd be like, no. I mean, it taught me to be more direct and more forward and more, I am so sorry. You guys, get out. Sorry. They sound like, they are animals, but you know what I mean. So anyway, it just taught me to be a more confident version of myself than I ever could have done, and made me grow. And like Caitlin said, it's a personal development program with a compensation plan attached, and it's a great compensation plan, so I highly recommend to keep going with it. But what were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to say, I think one of the most amazing things that we've seen in this business, and not only with ourselves, but seeing it within our team, is the second that somebody does decide that they're owning their business, not only the changes that it makes in them as a person and their confidence levels, the way their business boosts, goes crazy, but I think also the way that actually people end up respecting them, because, when somebody gives you a hard time, and then you're like, oh, well, everyone thinks I'm dumb for doing this, and then you listen to them, that doesn't ever earn, people don't respect you for that. That doesn't earn any respect. But when you're like, that, that's your opinion, and then you keep doing it anyway, and you show them your success, that is, people won't say anything, and it's like, I ran into those problems early on with my business, and I can say there's no one that has the balls at least to say anything to me now. And and same with Jackie. So it's there is a magical transformation once you do just decide you're going to own it, and that's it. The other thing is I read a quote the other day, and of course I'm going to probably ruin it, but it was basically along the lines of like the only difference between someone who has experienced, major success and someone who hasn't is the person who's experienced major success has experienced way more failures. And I absolutely love that because I think that there is this stigma that we all carry around where if we're going to be good at something, it means that we're just going to automatically be good and know how to do it, and the path is going to be easy. But especially with network marketing, and honestly, in all areas in life, it's just not the way it is. It's the ones who are successful have just had way more failures. They've heard no way more times than anyone else. That's the only difference.
Absolutely.
So we'll wrap this up. I just want to ask you two more questions. One is we have a lot of girls that are going for Diamond right now, and so I wanted to ask you, how did you basically rush to Diamond when you did, and how did you deal with bad days and get past them and press forward?
Well, there were bad days. I mean, there were days I was like, this is never going to happen. Like, I had no idea, and again, self-talk is so huge. Like, it really is. Like, oh, she found a toy. Do you hear that? A squeaker toy. Wonderful. Anyway, so, 1 second. Let me just take this away. Emma? Sorry. How to get this? It's so annoying. I don't know why I bought this for her. It's like the most annoying toy. Anyway, so anyway, bad days. I learned to just turn to my team. I just learned that I was like, you know what? I'm having a bad day, but they're not. So I need to figure out what they need. And they do need you. They need your leadership, and they need you to be there. And whether or not you were like Caitlin and I, who was like the blind leading the blind, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but hey, let's do it. I mean, you don't have to know it all, but like, you're each other's partners in crime. Like, you got to help each other out. Be a second set of eyes when you're mapping and you're charting and whatever you're doing. So I think like when you have those even slow times in your business, turn to your team, because put your energy there, focus on them, and your business will pick up again. So I think that's the biggest thing. And if you are going for Diamond, you can't be one of those 10 minutes a day people. If you're going for Diamond and you want Diamond, you better know that you better work your business with intention every single day. Have your goals written down. I know when I went for promotions, I always had my goals written down. I had a dream board right in front of my face at my old house, and even now when I was going for my presidential, I had my screensaver I changed to say I am presidential. Every single time I would look at it, and I'm like, you have to believe it before it's going to happen. And if you don't believe it's ever going to happen, if you don't believe it yourself, then why would it ever happen? You have to believe in yourself first. So I think, again, turn to your team. Know it's once you help your team and help others, your business booms in turn. And that's honestly the truth, because that's what this business is about, is helping others. And it's just a great benefit that we benefit as well. So it's a team effort. So I think just know your goals, know what you're working towards. And I also think communication with your team. I think that you guys, if you don't have group messages going with your team, if you're not in constant communication with your team, especially on a promotion month, I mean, you should always be talking, but I mean, know that you are going to be texting, calling, and Facebook messaging like crazy on those months, and keeping each other in the loop, because really no one gets anywhere without a team in this business. So you have got to be in communication, because that is what will take you to the next level. Okay, so I think I'll leave you with this. I think the best overall advice that I ever got in this business was from Danielle and Sarah. And I didn't really understand it at the time, but they said, this business is crazy. They were like, it's going to be, ride the wave. And I'm like, the wave? What does that even mean? But, the more I thought about it, yeah, you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. It's a wave. You're going to have ups and downs. You're not going to be top dog enrolling, all these distributors every single month. And you just have to realize that that's going to happen. That's going to happen. We all have ups, we all have downs, but we're all going to have failures. Like Caitlin said, everyone's going to fail. But what really defines you is when you fall, what do you do to get back up? What defines you? That's what defines you. That's what makes you who you are, is when you do fall, do you get back up and do you change things up, and do you go for that goal, and do you keep a positive attitude, or do you just accept defeat and just say, you know what, I'm just not cut out for this. It's not going to happen. And you give up. So, I mean, yeah, I've fallen on my face about 900 million times, trust me. And 16 months about doing that, let me tell you, and finding my way. And finally, I feel like I found my way back. And so just know that how you approach those failures and those falls and what you do after is what's most important, because we all know that there's no, like, it's a rocky road. It is. It just is. There's no perfect road. And all those people, even the ones that went to Diamond, in 2 months or a month, or those people that went Ambassador in 12 months, again, you saw the highlight reel. You did not see what happened to get up to that point. And trust me, there were sleepless nights, and they worked their tail off for that. So, again, anyone can do it. It's just you got to know your goal. You got to decide what your priority is, and you got to make time to make it happen. And that's, I guess, my best piece of advice for you.
I love it so much. Jackie, I am just so thrilled to get to even interview you and have you share your story with everyone. You have just, obviously been one of the biggest blessings in my life for so many reasons, and you have such an incredible journey to share with everyone. So thank you so much for not only everything that you do for our team, but for taking your time out and sharing your journey with everyone, the raw journey, not the highlight reel, but the real deal. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and if anyone wants to ask questions, you can go ahead and unmute yourselves.